In this video, we'll look at different ways to find the equation of a parabola. And so two of the most common ways, I'll explain a third way just now. Two of the most common ways is the x-intercept method and the turning point method. And you really want to make sure that you understand this. So I would recommend watching and re-watching this video until you're totally comfortable, because you just see it so often. And so if you've got the x-intercepts, so 5 and minus 3, think if those are my answers, 5, then the bracket that gave me that answer would be x minus 5. If the x-intercept is minus 3, the bracket or factor that gave you that would be x plus 3. And so you're basically just doing the opposite sign. So here would be your equation in its rough form, y equals a as a placeholder and your two brackets. Because you're missing one letter, you need to sub in a point, so the point would be 0, 15. We sub that in for x, we sub that in for y, and we end up getting a as minus 1. Then we go back to the step where we didn't know a, and we put minus 1 there. I personally would prefer to times the brackets out first, but still keep it all in one big bracket, because the minus 1 needs to apply to everything. And so you end up, this is just a minus 5, you end up with minus x squared plus 2x plus 15. It helps just to stop when you finished an answer and think, okay, cool, a negative x squared means it's a sad graph. Was mine sad? Yeah. The 15 is the y-intercept. Is mine 15? Maybe I got this wrong and I left it as minus 15. So learn to love graphs, learn to love functions, because you can visually check that your maths is right. The second method is the turning point method. And so why would I use this? The minute that I see I've been given a turning point, I'm going to immediately choose this method. And so here it is in its basic format. This could be a plus p, minus p. It doesn't matter too much, because when you see the turning point, it's 1, 16. If the x is 1, what's the bracket that gives you 1 as an answer? It's x minus 1. And the 16, the y value at the turning point, is just the number at the end here. Again, I'm just missing one letter. What do I do whenever I'm missing one letter in maths? In functions, I just sub in a point. So I'll sub in 3 and 12. So y is 12, x is 3. That just becomes 4a. And this goes across to be minus 4. So a is minus 1. And then you can just put minus 1 back in where you were last stuck. If, as a trick question, kind of, they give you this picture at the bottom here and they say, give your answer in this form, it's tempting to think that you need to use the x-intercept method because it looks like that. Please don't do that. Whatever they give you, use that form. So if they give you a turning point, use the turning point method. But then once you get to your answer, all you do is you literally just times this bracket out, times the minus 1 in, add the 16 in, and you'll end up with a trinomial. Ditto, if you've got the x-intercepts, then do it the whole x-intercept method and get to this point. And if they wanted to look in turning point equation, then all you need to do from here is you would just need to do something like this. Okay, I want it to look in turning point equation format. So either you can complete the square and have a headache, or you can just go minus b over 2a. So that would be minus 2 over 2a. That's minus 2 of minus 2 is 1. So the turning point is happening at 1. And then I sub 1 back into here. So that would give me minus 1, because it's only the x that's going to be squared. And this would be 2 plus 15 is 17, minus 1 is 16. So my turning point is 116. And so I would immediately write it in this format. Because the turning point is 1, it will be x minus 1 squared. Because the y turning point is 16, I'll have a 16 at the end. And whatever your a was in the original, so it was just minus 1, it will be the same a in turning point method. So that's just helpful to whatever they give you, use that method. If you need to rearrange it in a final answer, you go and do that, but always use what they give you. The third method that you could see is they could just give you 2 random points, and when you're missing 2 letters, you'd have to sub in 2 points and do it like a simultaneous equation. They would probably have to give you something more like a y-intercept, or maybe in the way they wrote the equation, they would give you something like this. And so they've hinted that the a value is 1. And again, you're missing 2 letters, and so you'd have to sub in 2 points and do simultaneous equation. So that's just the third sneaky method that could be hiding. I hope that this was helpful. It's really good to come back to these 2 main basic methods, because you're going to see them repeated in most of your parabola related questions. If you found this video helpful, please like it, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends.